Once Human is getting a brand new major update. We're going to go over a brand new dev talk as well as some developer updates. I'll also include the PrismVerse's class information as well as a brand new event, which does include some big name streamers and a faction war, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up, brothers? Toby back in the video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. So first up, jumping over, we do have the new scenario that's happening as well as the signups. Now, if you did join any of the first servers that did get released with the last scenario, or at least the last server update, you're actually still currently in phase 5. You cannot currently sign up for these servers. However, if you did wait on the older servers or joined into one of those later, it does seem like you were able to just sign up for this. They did say originally that you would have been able to join mid-season. However, that doesn't seem to be the case, and you have to be in phase 6 in order to join this new scenario. Now, this does start on the same time or same day as the original servers from back then, or at least the ones that were very recent signups. So you still will be able to sign up for these servers and play on them the first day, seemingly so, as my phase 5 does end in 2 days and around 20-ish hours. So around the same time period, maybe a day late. However, you should be able to sign up for the PrismVerse's Clash servers. Jumping over to the actual details. Of course, I've showcased to you that Insider Mayfly footage. We still don't know what Rosetta has to offer, but there are some more details here in this. Again, there's going to be 2 participating factions, Rosetta versus Mayfly, and you can join either of those. Now, there is going to be something called Prism Deviations. You will have to capture those, which can only be obtained in public crisis events that will be guaranteed. However, you can also obtain those in Wilderness Gathering, which has a low chance, or Fishing, which also has a very low chance. Now, this will contribute to winning the scenario for your faction. You can use securement facilities to secure Prism Deviations. Again, this is only in contest areas. And if that securement fails, you can then use Prism Energy feature on the map to locate that deviation. Faction deviations will be on different levels and have varying amounts of Prism Energy. Players can then secure Prism Deviations by using securement units. This may take a while, however, and you have to also gather Prism Energy for your faction, and the faction with the highest Prism Energy will win the scenario. So it does seem like there's going to be a give and take with the Prism Energy overall, where you will need to be conservative with the amount of Prism Energy you use, especially when trying to locate the deviation. Now, this PrismVerse's Clash scenario will also introduce some new unique mimetic specializations, and players from both factions can randomly acquire those mimetic specializations from the opposing faction. Also, with this new scenario, entering the contest area will automatically activate faction PvP mode. Players won't lose gear upon being downed during the PvP in Wilderness, so that is a significant change there. You won't actually lose your gear now. Participating in a public crisis event within a scenario will also grant the players an additional mod loot crate with the battlefield suffix, so that's probably going to have some sort of mod attributes to it. Now, there's also some faction rewards at the end of each phase, where players will receive faction firework rewards based on the rank. Faction fireworks can then summon a faction loot crate that can be shared with other members of the same faction, so you want to be doing those together. And once a certain amount of Prism Energy is collected, the entire faction can earn Star Crown rewards. However, also top performers in the final phase will earn faction avatar sets, and these will be unique and rare to that. Now, they do outline all the different phases here, but the most important part is the contest area as well as the available content. So for phase 1, the accessible regions will be the Mayfly base, which is a safe zone, Rosetta base, again another safe zone, the public safe zone, and the central Blackfell area, but that will be a contest, or again a contest area, or players from different factions can attack each other in that contest zone. Now, 2 things to note here under phase 1. The Milestone Sanctuary from 12 AM to 12 PM daily. That will make buildings under protection and take 70% less damage from players. Milestone 2 will be a turning point where Prism Deviations will descend during public crisis events and contest areas. That will then happen from 12 PM to 6 PM. Now, again, not too sure which time zone they're referring to here. However, for now, we'll assume this is PDT or Pacific time. Jumping over to phase 2, this one will instead last 7 days, where phase 1 will last 5 days. The new accessible region will be Western Blackfell, which will now be also a contest area. That's also going to unlock hard difficulty. Again, the same things for those milestones there. However, there is a new deviation, the Berserkerus Rex, which will descend in contest areas. Now, there is a third milestone, though, If the trailing faction has less than 40% Prism energy, it gains a buff that increases the Prism securement speed by 20%. So some buffs there for the losing faction, which should help with disparity, or at least if there's a lopsided faction. Now last up here, they just detail as Phase 3. As they detail here, the conflict will end at daybreak, and the winner shall dictate the future of this world. So it looks like there's only going to be 3 phases, with this one again being 7 days. So in total, it looks like this might be 19 days long for the scenario, which might line up with the new PvE scenario stuff, but this is a very short scenario, seemingly so, given that there's only 3 phases, or that's when the winner will be determined. Now all the same milestones are going to be there. The new accessible region is going to be Eastern Blackfell, which will again be a contest area, and there will be a pro difficulty available with this as well. So the phases are happening much quicker, and the content is unlocking much quicker as well. The only thing that has changed here is that in Milestone 2, there's going to be another new deviant called the Radiant one, which will also descend in contest areas. Now for those of you that are kind of worried about PvP or hesitant to participate in PvP, they did say here they're going to introduce a PvP stat adjustment mechanism for PrismVerse's Clash, which will keep the power differences in check while maintaining the unique characteristics of builds and their counterplay mechanisms. They're going to refine that based on player feedback and performance data. Also, specifically, we are getting 2 new prize pools for the Wish Machine. The first one will be Parting Bullet, and second will be Desert Gunslinger. You can acquire the legendary Blueprint Memento from the Parting Bullet pool, and the legendary Blueprint Desert Dusk Mask, which you can in turn get that entire set or the Stormweaver set. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, the scenario signups have been available since yesterday, which started at 8 Pacific time. Now, this is being considered the 1.2 update, which also brings me to the new Twitch streamer faction war that's going to be happening on the same day or at a similar time. Now, as this official tweet mentions here, that this will be happening sometime after the version 1.2 update. Again, we don't know for sure, but I do believe it's within a couple days, either on that day or a couple days after. They do actually have some really big streamers here under the Twitch streamer faction wars. This will be located on a separate server or a streamer server. I'm not sure how they're going to categorize this, if everybody's going to be on the North American servers together, or at least these streamers will be on the same North American servers. However, I was lucky enough to be considered for this. I'm not on this major list here as they kind of showcase the big names, but I should be on the same server, seemingly so. So I will be streaming on either September 26th or a couple of days after. I'll let you guys know for sure when that's going to happen, but I should be on one of these streamer servers or just the streamer server. So if you want to check that out, you can head to my channel, and I'll include a pinned comment possibly when that is updated, or let you guys know in a new video. With that though, they should be announcing the teams sometime soon. So again, I'll let you guys know and keep you guys updated on all of that. Jumping over, we did have that dev talk as well as that new Lightforge loot crate update. There's going to be another loot crate happening on September 26th. There's some pretty nice cosmetics in this one, especially for the vehicle. Seems like that's going to be for the Mustang skin overall. And they also have several customizations for the characters itself, including Stream Heatwave and Music Frenzy. So these will definitely be sought after if you are into the loot crates. Jumping back over, we did have that dev talk. Now this is centered around the Battle Pass. Skipping on the first question here, it's just about Battle Passes. Most people know exactly what those are. Now they do mention here that Battle Passes are going to be in 2 phases. Realistically, it's just a second Battle Pass, or at least that's what it seems like. But they do mention here that Phase 1 ran from July 10th to September 12th. Phase 2 of the Battle Pass is running from September 12th to November 7th. Currently, all servers are in Phase 2 of the Battle Pass, and Phase 1 is no longer available. Or each Battle Pass phase runs for about 2 months. As they mention here, the Battle Pass has nothing to do with scenarios or server. Those start times are independent of each other, as well as the end times. Your Battle Pass progress will always be carried over between servers and scenarios, even if you join a new server or a new server type. They also mention here the Battle Pass is now shared between characters on your account. All rules are applicable to that cross-character sharing. Only cosmetics will be shared between characters in the same region. Things like Starcrom and in-game items, those will not be shared between characters. And the Battle Pass progress is exclusive to a single character, persisting even if the character enters a new server or scenario, and that cannot be transferred to a different character. So you should carefully choose which character you activate the Battle Pass for, as you cannot progress it on another character, but you can claim those cosmetics for it. And it also cannot be shared between regions. So those are the changes there, as well as the updates to the restrictions. Again, prior, your purchases were not transferable between characters, and the cosmetics you earned were only applicable to one character. However, now that it is shared across multiple characters, you just cannot progress it across multiple characters. It will only earn progress on one character at a time. So if you do have multiple characters, make sure you activate it on the one that you play the most. That does cover it for about everything. Again, the Twitch streamer faction war is going to be happening here very soon. As I said, I will be live streaming. I believe the Once Human Twitch account is also going to be live streaming the entire event. There is some huge names here like Summit1G, Hutch, and Asmongold, as well as even Soda Poppin'. There's also some big time content creators from Europe and Latin America. So they're basically catering to nearly everyone there in a lot of different regions. Overall though, it should cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces!